Today.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I get frustrated. I get disgusted. When I get angry up here, it's failure. It's anger. It's disgust. I mean, I know this is tyranny. I've read all the globalist documents. I know they're poisoning us. Every time I see some kid dying of cancer, I get mad. I know the numbers are off the chart. I take it personal. I don't like it. I don't like the fact I can't go anywhere and not be around government bureaucrats and cops in my business. I'm tired of it. And then they legalize illegal aliens and allow felons who are aggravated felons to be released. I'm tired of it. I've had enough of it. I want my freedom back. I want it right now. And I know there's so many competent, smart, intelligent men out there. I run into them all the time who are smarter than I am, stronger than I am, better spoken than I am, and they're all good at working in the system and kissing the system's rump to climb the ladder. And folks, that's what's destroying our country. Is the slickness with which they package all these lies. And how many good people they've got working for the corrupt system, rationalizing what you're doing. Our society is going down. Janice in Texas, then Otter, Den, and others. D and others. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Sorry, my blood's boiling. I'm really kind of worked up today. I'm calling to tell you about this criminal who's running wild in government and has been for a really long time. But first, I wanted to just comment on what you were saying about FEMA. My mom is part of the FEMA relocation program, and they ordered her off her land, plowed down the house. You can't even take the refrigerator. Boom, gone. No fair market value. Just here's what we think you know should get.
Oh, yeah, that's the other point. People always say, we've always had adverse possession. If it was passed by the county or the state by law, and then you had to pay whatever they wanted. Now, they've sent our family letters saying, we may take your property, and we'll take it for whatever we think it's worth, and it's come out, they'll pay about 10% of what it's worth. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's everything you say is true. So if anybody thinks you're kidding, FEMA does not get around.
Notice when it's property taxes, it's always way... Here's an example. I have family bought a house 16 years ago in Austin for $140,000 with a couple acres on it in Austin. Now, they now tell them the house is worth a couple million because of the land, even though it's not zoned where they could use it properly. They don't want to sell it, and the property taxes every year are more on what they pay every month. And by the way, the house is almost paid off because you don't really own your land anymore. It's feudal rent. We didn't have property taxes till 55 years ago. I mean, there's never an end. I'm sorry, ma'am. Tell us the story. I'm going to try to shut up.
Okay. Okay, so I just bear with me because I've got three examples. One is in I just reviewed Jesse Ventura's episode of the Plum Island facility and moving it to Kansas. Anyway, this person in the government that I'm talking about is the head of the Secretary of Department of Health and Human Services, Kathleen Sebelius. First, and you can find it on C-SPAN. I mean, if you look on C-SPAN, you probably find a million more things than I found. But after the passage of Obamacare, she's giving a speech with her buddies from the FDA, and she openly brags. She says, I have been lobbying FEMA since the Clinton administration to get on board with my agenda, and they kept throwing up their hands at me going, look, lady, we only do floods. And I kept on, and now they are on board with me, and I have boots on the ground. So she is openly bragging.
No. I have an article today where they admit they're getting ready for nationwide forced inoculations. It's now in the regulations, which aren't based in law. I'm telling you, folks, they just announced they're going to start injecting kids without parental consent in California. The government's criminal. We're all in danger, people.
And then at an appropriations committee that you can also find on C-SPAN, she is asking Tom Harkin. She even freaks out the really evil people. I mean, she's so evil. She was asking for money to build threat fusion centers that are health threat fusion centers all over America that make vaccines on the spot, snatch and grab if we think you're sick, put you in them and shoot you up with whatever.
I know, and you know what? Here's the problem. I saw that a year ago. Never even got to it on air. I mentioned it. It's the Model States Health Emergency Powers Act. Do me a favor. Send because you can usually search the date and the name now. Everything's searchable on C-SPAN video. It's incredible. Give me the date and the time of that, and I'll get one of the Watsons or somebody to do a report on it, because people need to know. These threat fusion centers, they've said, they admit, TSA, all of this is about getting you trained to have them put their hands on you. That's why they have federal grants for blood draws. That's getting cops ready for forced inoculation. They're just getting them trained to do medical stuff on DWI. My guest is coming up, but I'm going to go back to you after we talk to him. Some of you can hold on, Janice, because you know what you're talking about. But send it to showtips@infowars.com.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Alex Jones here with vital information concerning our nation's fragile food supply. Folks, there are some truly dangerous trends forming, and I think it's important for my listeners to do three things right away. Number one, study the past. History really does repeat itself. Number two, learn to spot the dangerous food shortage trends. Number three, take decisive action. A perfect storm is brewing for a global food crisis. That's why I'm telling everyone to read the new book, Rising Prices, Empty Shelves. Warning signs that trigger the deadliest famines in history. Don't get caught unprepared when the crisis hits. This book is only available at risingpricesemptyshelves.com. You'll also get a free copy of Supermarket Survival, How to Cut Your Grocery Bills in Half. Again, that website is risingpricesemptyshelves.com. That's risingpricesemptyshelves.com. A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Hi, this is Alex Jones. This holiday season, more than half of our nation is in need of help due to the shattered economy. So now is the time to express the holiday spirit more than ever. Consider helping those you love with the most important gift, a supply of delicious, easy-to-fix, and very storable foods from efoodsdirect.com. Their holiday gift and family packs start at $99 for a 16-day supply, while their 5-week supply of quick and easy-to-fix meals includes a personal backpack in case of a grab-and-go emergency. Order their combo gift pack, and you'll save hundreds, plus get free shipping on your entire order. Call eFoods today at 800-409-5633 or visit them online at efoodsdirect.com/Alex to find the special. That's 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct. Okay, listen, Janice, Frank, Tim, Matt, Otter. In fact, it'll be Otter, Janice, then Otter, and then Tim and others that have been holding the longest. We're going to get to you. Open phones during the next hour. If our guest wants to stay with us a little bit then and take calls, he's certainly welcome. You know, I do a lot of radio interviews, but less than I used to because I do the nightly news now, and I'm doing Coast to Coast AM tonight. Love doing that, but I'll be up all night. So I don't do as many as I used to, but I've enjoyed going on Dan Cofall's show a couple times up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 1190 a.m. He's during prime time up there covering the economy every day when the stock market closes 4 to 6 p.m. The WallStreetShuffle.com is his website. And I was thinking about getting him on as just a guest to give his perspective on Ron Paul and stuff a few weeks ago. And then I happened to look at his bio, and he's on the committee of Foreign Relations for Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is like a spinoff subgroup of the Council on Foreign Relations. And I know he's developed a bunch of different data and intelligence systems that are actually used by the government. So I thought, get this guy on, because he's a Ron Paul supporter, at least from what I've heard on the show. He's critical of what the Federal Reserve's doing, and he seems extremely informed. And then I was reading his bio, and see, I'm not stupid. I know that the CFR now is up to about 4,000 members. And then in key cities like Dallas, Chicago, Illinois, New York, they will have these committees on the Council of Foreign Relations that are kind of like the in baseball, they have the teams that are under them, you know, the farming teams that basically try to keep an eye on movers and shakers in the regional area. And so I would guess that's what's happening here. You know, some people say, Angelina Jolie, she must be evil, she must be bad. That remains to be seen, joining the Council on Foreign Relations. Is she doing it to try to learn about the global elite? Is she doing it so she can try to get leverage and help people? I don't know. I don't know. I happen to know Brad Pitt has shown a major interest in fighting the New World Order privately, spoken out against it privately with some people I know, and doesn't like it, he says. But who knows? You know, the point is that not everyone in the CFR is evil and corrupt. Now, if you're in the Trilateral Commission, you're a world government globalist. The CFR leadership is made up of Bilderberg, Skull and Bones, Trilateral Commission people. The CFR is the U.S. version of the Royal Institute of International Affairs, or what the British Empire called roundtable groups, where they would pull out of a country that they publicly dominated, but still have their financial interests there, working through kind of the good old boys club. And anybody who's been in business knows it's good to get into clubs for your business that are powerful because of the opportunities. That's what most of, quote, business is these days, now more than ever. So I'm not getting off into a big distraction with Dan. It's just that I thought that was interesting. I thought I'd get his perspective on being part of the committee on Foreign Relations, which is a regional subgroup of the Council on Foreign Relations, before we get into all the amazing things he's done, because he's certainly a smart guy, and I want to get his perspective on what's happening in Europe, what's happening with the Federal Reserve, where he sees this country going. You know, talking to really millions of people every day. It's one of the top stations there in Dallas, 1190 AM. It's known as CNN Radio up there. Good to have you with us, Dan.
Like I say, it's great to be on the show, brother. I certainly enjoyed seeing you in Dallas. That was a terrific organization.